is the connection to the county gravity line. They were actually in Cherry Hill and going up Grove Street, the line that went up Grove Street. The project ended up coming in approximately $165,000 under the original cost of the contract. This is just the final change order, bringing it down to $503,000.
Any questions on the change order?
Seeing no questions, Commissioner Casco?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Columbia?
Yes.
Next is the authorization to release the Year 2 performance bond for solid waste collection to Casworth Enterprise and accept their Year 3 performance bond.
Yes, ma'am. Casworth has our contract for trash collection. It was an initial contract with 4 one-year extensions. We did take the 3rd-year extension, and along with that, it just has a performance bond so that if something should go wrong and they believe town had some way to pay for the services. So this is each year, depending on the cost of the contract, that bond has to be renewed, and this is the third year.
Any questions? Seeing no questions, Commissioner Casco?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Columbia?
Yes.
The next resolution is the authorization to release a performance bond for water main replacement on Cedar Avenue, Farwood Road, and Longwood Drive to Pact Construction Incorporated.
This is, as I said, we have finalized the contract. All the work has been done. We're releasing a performance bond, and anytime we do a major project, they are required to have a 2-year maintenance bond. So this is releasing the performance bond and accepting the maintenance bond. So if anything should go wrong in the next 2 years, we still have a way to recoup the cost.
And that was utility.
That was the
contract.
utility
That's
work.
not the street.
No, that is the utility work. This was phase 2. This is the utility work on phase 2.
Water main.
This was the water main. Yes, this was the water main.
Any questions?
Seeing no questions, Commissioner Casco?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner Columbia?
Yes. That concludes the business portion of our meeting. At this time, we would open it up for questions from the public. If anyone has any, this can be about anything, not necessarily.
Good evening, everyone. Mary Ann Campling, 9 Avenue, but you guys already know that. What are they surveying for down in Haddonfield?
My guess it's the basketball.
Yes.
Not on the far end, not where the sewage thing's going over, but over in the other side where the streets that come in off of Maple.
There is a group of individuals in town that run the basketball league, and they are looking to possibly put the basketball court back over in Radnor.
Nice. Okay.
And that's as volunteers, they're doing some of the engineering work to see what it's.
Some of the residents used the term warehouse or storage facility. Is that inaccurate?
It is a school property. I am not aware of the school putting anything on there. The last meeting I had with the school, the superintendent, was with this group of individuals who's looking for the basketball court.
The other question is,
Might be redoing the bathrooms.
I'm sorry?
I seem to recall, they have bathrooms at Haddonfield that are in very bad shape.
That's
They're
my
talking
understanding,
about
yeah.
that in the building. Maybe they're
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
refurbishing.
But like I said, the surveyors were there and I asked them about it. They were kind of very vague and, weren't real helpful. But thank you for answering that question. Second question is, what's the status of the wooden fence over at the Muse that's running the same area as the Methodist Church? I think I questioned that about 4 months ago and it was supposed to be looked into and never heard anything. And the fence is still on.
I believe it was supposed to be taken down.
Well, the
The second one.
last time I gave you an update, they were going back to determine which fence was put up first and if the fences were in prior to the ordinance. Honestly, I apologize, I have not followed up with Steve. I'll have to follow up and find out what the status is.
Would you get in touch with Mary Ann as soon as you have
Absolutely. I'll check with him tomorrow and give you a call.
Terrific. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? Any questions about anything? Yes, sir.
Good evening, John Schmidt, Gloucester City, New Jersey. First, let me, Mayor, I'd like to thank you as well as the Borough Clerk regarding the FDS issues from earlier this year. And hopefully moving forward, Haddonfield will be one of the towns that I'm pleased to see as I going through the southern 6 counties this year, that a lot more are at 100% or just having 1 and 2 people, but a lot more are at 100%, and I'm happy to see that. I don't even want to think about what the other 15 counties in the state look like. Another question, and as I actually just asked this in Haddon Township this evening, Haddon Heights last week, Gloucester Township the week before that, as I go from meeting to meeting. I'm asking each elected official in this county what their position is on the Camden County Police Department, which is what Camden County is calling it. It's not being referred to in emails as a Metro Police Department, a Camden County Police Department. I would like to know as elected officials what your positions are on it, and if there's anything you can share, Mayor, from the meeting that was held last week that hasn't already been public.
No, Sharon and I attended that meeting because we have felt collectively that it's important that we stay informed about everything that's going on that could involve our police. I can tell you personally, I'm not in favor of a county police department. I feel very strongly that hometown police department works for us, and that doesn't mean we've gone through many ways of cost savings to make it work. And maybe it's not as large or as we would like it, but it's still our own. And that's my personal feeling. We have not discussed this collectively as a group to say how we would, propose that be done. But we will continue to listen and see what's going on there, because I think it's important for us to know all the towns to advocate what is actually going to happen. That's my personal
Thank you.
I would like to, I guess, say that, first off, I think that efforts to share services and possibly have regional efforts to do things together, whether it's countywide or voluntarily, town by town, is in general a good thing. It's something that the governor and the legislature has pushed and encouraged us to do, and it's something that we have done on certain services and certain things that we're able to share with other towns. When it comes to public safety and police departments, I think there's a higher hurdle to overcome to justify sharing that kind of service. In the future, I think that Haddonfield may or may not be able to share certain services, certain public safety services, possibly with surrounding or neighboring towns. However, this particular proposal of the Camden County Metro Police, or the Camden County Police Department, however you want to put it, is not something that I don't think is right. I'm in agreement with the mayor. It's not something that's right for us to do. I've been a little troubled by some of the process that's been involved with the formation. I've been of this county department, and I've been a little troubled with some of the politics and as well, and some other stuff related to having this Camden County Police Department. It appears that there is a Metro Police Department that is going to have one city, and that's Camden City, be its member. I fail to see how that's really sharing services or really regionalizing municipal services in an effective way. It's not something that works for us, obviously. In the future, might a smaller like town like Haddon Heights or Barrington or something maybe will be able to share some services? Absolutely. But this proposal and the way they're doing it has not been, I think, done well and not acceptable to me. And, it's probably, I would say definitely not from my standpoint. I'm in agreement with the mayor that it wouldn't be something that we'd be looking to join. I think people in this town like having our own police department. Our police department is very responsive and does a great job.
The county police department, as it's been described in the press and everything I've heard, is to be a department that will really only have one municipality to deal with. The freeholders have also said repeatedly that that department will not result in any increased tax burden on the other municipalities. I think it's.
Do you believe that?
I think it's important that we hold them to that, and that we ensure that that, in fact, occurs. I have no reason at this point to disbelieve it. Nothing that freeholders have done or anybody else has done to suggest to me that that will not be the case. In terms of our own department, I certainly agree that our department does a fantastic job with limited resources and shrinking resources. I continue to be a supporter of policing as close to the local level as we can possibly get it. As the chief knows, we've talked over and over again about the possibility of sharing certain services with nearby municipalities, and we'll continue to do that. And if there are opportunities to do that, to both improve the level of policing, which is the first priority, but at the same time control costs, I think we have a responsibility to do that, and we will do that. These are very challenging times for public safety, and we need to look at ways to deliver high-quality policing, the same quality that we've been used to in Haddonfield for many, many years, at costs that are, unfortunately, because of the one-size-fits-all cap, costs that are going to decrease. We just have no choice but to deal with this cap, which to me is a foolish public policy effort. But we have it, we have to deal with it, and particularly in the area of public safety, we have to figure out how to make that work in some way that maintains the level of public safety in Haddonfield, but also recognizes the cost burdens we face.
Thank you. As I spoke in Haddon Heights last week, and their public safety commissioner, public safety council member who's in charge of the public safety department, I was retired out of Camden. And as I said to them there, I says, right now this is about all of our towns. Because once Camden goes, it's going to be gradually forced upon everyone else, the withholding of state aid. And I spoke in Gloucester Township last night. Michelle Gantek, who is a candidate for freeholder, came out and says, I believe in local police in Gloucester Township. They're great, but I believe in the Camden Metro Police Department. Well, praise local policing, but you want to get rid of the Camden City Police Department. And then we all know where it's going to be stationed down there in Lakeland. As I go from town to town, I'm going to say, as elected officials, it's, you're in this because it's coming if we as a county don't stand up and say no. So thank you very much for your answers, and I hope that you, and I do want to thank you for going and listening, even though you're opposed to the plan. I disagreed with the stunt.
You were yelling at Sharon now when you walked in.
I was not.
Okay, good.
I was actually trying to tell people not to holler at you when you left. It's unfortunate that the stunt that my mayor pulled. It's a joke. At least listen to what these people, what they're doing, so you can plan how to counteract or try to counteract. So thank you.
Well, I think, as Jeff and Ed both mentioned, the small towns around are working together very closely to find ways that they can save money by sharing services, and we've been doing it for a number of years. We found many ways that we can do that. Police is something, in my opinion, it's a little different. And I think of the past 2 weeks, seeing stories about our police officers in the paper going beyond what they normally would do, saving lives, helping people. This week, one of our police officers is a football coach at the high school, being in all these critical places in our community that show people and kids what policing is all about. And I'm I don't want that to change. I think we're committed to find ways to save money. There are certain areas that I think are kind of canceled.
And you were talking about shared services with maybe aspects of policing. To what extent have you as a public safety director in Haddonfield have spoken to other towns in relation to the sheriff's department? There's actually a 1992 article that I discovered by just doing a few Google searches in which they were talking about the reducing role of the power of the sheriff in New Jersey. New York actually at that time was increasing the power of their sheriff back up as the top, elected law enforcement officer. And they had the New Jersey Public Safety Commission under Governor Florio, and Sheriff Simon was interviewed throughout this piece. And he said near the end that towns aren't going to be able to afford, certain things. And that's where the sheriff's department can come in to do certain things with the towns, more so I think than they do now. They even cut back what they do. How is there a way to say, you know what, if we want to go county, we already have a system in place, and expand that role of sheriff, who are LEOs. And maybe that's a discussion that should be being held also.
Well, thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
to our meeting and sharing your thoughts.
Well, I just want to add to the mayor's thought, previous comments, and that is that, one of the things we have in this town, and I think that we all appreciate in Haddonfield, is that, we don't run the town in a politically partisan manner. We may have our own, personal viewpoints or philosophies, but, we're elected in a nonpartisan election. I think we govern primarily in a very nonpartisan way, and people appreciate that here. I have to say, for my 12 years of living in Camden County, that is obviously not the case at the county level. And that's the other thing that concerns me, is that I've seen a record over the past 10 or 11 or 12 years of county freeholders playing politics with a lot of things. And so it concerns me that now they're going to have a police department to politicize and decide who gets jobs and who gets contracts and who gets services. So that's something I think that people should be concerned about too in towns like Haddonfield, is that why would we inject ourselves into some type of system or some type of regional force that is now going to be controlled by one party and one machine that kind of runs things in the county. Not good for public safety. I mean, we have a tradition in this town of being nonpartisan, and I think the police department should absolutely be nonpartisan, should not have party politics. So that's maybe another reason, certainly for me, but also for other residents, why being a part of something like that just is not a good fit for us.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Anyone else, any comments? I do have one last announcement. In your mail this week, you'll receive your new borough calendar for 2012 and 13. And so you're going to love it. It's all about the beautiful trees in our town. And Robin Potter, Robin, are you chair of the Shakespeare Commission?
Yeah, I'm back doing that.
Is and has been a very faithful volunteer. She knows everything there is to know about trees, but is really responsible for all the information about trees and putting this beautiful calendar together. We know you'll enjoy it. Thank you, Robin, for all you represent for our town. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, just call her home. She knows. Any last chance? Any other questions? Well, thank you all for being here this evening. Appreciate it.